Okay, so this is my first YouTube live video. Yeah, a little bit nervous doing this actually. So welcome back to the channel, everybody who's watching. I put up a video during the week of, I basically talked about the 4 different types of runs you need to do in order to get fitter and faster. So this live stream video is just, I'm going to go through each of those because I want to just get used to doing live stream stuff. So I thought I'll take the 4 different types of run that I spoke about in that video during the week when I was walking through the forest. And just talk about each one individually. So to start, the first thing I spoke about was, and it is the most important run of the 4 that I spoke about, it's just the easy run. So I'm just going to go through, talk about the easy runs. There's kind of the most popular question in running is, does easy pace running make you faster? So we'll address that. And just give me a little bit of a chance to feel what it's like to go live, because it is something I would like to do going forward in the future. I'm just not too sure of how to set up and all that. I'm obviously working today through StreamYard. I think that's probably the best way for me to do it. I have my microphone set up here just beside me. You can't see it off screen. I have that laptop that's kind of balanced on just a couple of books and stuff on top of a little desk in my sitting room. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to go live, or we're going to talk about that run, the easy run. So yeah, so I spoke about 4 different types of run that you need to get yourself fitter and faster, and kind of the 4 principal runs that you need to add into your weekly training in order to get better. And the first one was just the easy run. I spoke about that. The second one I spoke about was the long run. And the third one was just starting to do some intervals. And then the 4th was a tempo run. And I would kind of put them in that order of preference. When I coach people, I always like them to have their easy runs done first. And then once people can do a couple of easy runs, I would add in, I would try and extend out one of the runs to make it longer. And then once they get comfortable doing the longer run, then I'll start to add in some intensity. And then once they can handle the intensity, you can start to add in a tempo. And like I spoke about in that video, sometimes you can do the tempo just as a tempo run yourself during the week. Sometimes you can put it into your long run. And depending on how your week is, depending on how much time you have. When I coach athletes, I don't ever prescribe just a plan. So I never just give somebody saying, this is your 12-week or your 16-week plan, and just follow that up until race day. Because I know myself, I'm running for 20 years, that never happens. I wouldn't even say that almost never happens. It never happens. Nobody ever hits it all. You're going to get sick along the way. You're going to get tired. You're going to get fed up. You're going to have a down week. You're going to have a bad week. You're going to have a great week. You're going to do more miles some week, less. You'll miss workouts. It will all mix and match. So when I coach athletes, I tend to give them the training plan. So I have a direction that they want to go on. I have their goals. And then I tend to look at what they do on Strava week on week, and then I build in it with my philosophy of training week on week. I don't just say, here's a 12 or 16 week plan, just follow that and go right the way through. Like I said, the athletes I work with each week, they will log into Strava and they'll see, I'll have their kind of whatever their training is for that week. I find that is much more successful. It's much more realistic. And I think across all spectrums of advice that you get on fitness, physiology, health, if somebody has like a plan, or if somebody has like, just do this, and there's no nuance to it, it's just, this is what you need to do to get here, straight away, they kind of just lose credibility with me, because I just think when I see something like that, I just think that this person, if they're saying that this is the only way to do it, or this is the way that you need to do it, without knowing you particularly well, without watching you, without kind of guiding you, I think that, yeah, I think the person, I don't do it because I think you would lose credibility, because it's just too difficult to do. It's just too hard to plan out. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. That's my little philosophy on how I train people, and just a little insight into how my coaching works. So the first thing I'll get people to do is just that easy run. So the easy run is going to be somewhere, some people might be doing 20 minutes. You kind of be building up 25, 30 minutes. Once you get to that 30 minutes, then you can really start to feel the fitness building and drag it out. So your easy runs can be anywhere between 20 minutes to, let's say, about an hour and 10 minutes a day. Yeah, you certainly don't want to be running every day. I would say the most important thing with your easy runs is to get them above 20 minutes as quick as you can. So to work on it with that consistency that I spoke about, but try and build a run up to where you're getting more than 25 minutes. So I would say maybe 30 to 40 minutes should be your kind of goal area for your midweek 1 or 2 easy runs. And the reason why I would get the person to get to that run up to that time and not worry about distance. I never worry about distance when I'm training people. It's usually time that I work on. And the reason why I would do that is because certain physiological things happen in the body after a certain period of time. So after 20 minutes, it'll take about 20 minutes before you kind of burn off all that kind of free glycogen in your muscles and in your liver. you will still have plenty floating around, but just the kind of the buffer, the kind of everyday glycogen that's floating around. After about 20 minutes, you're going to be depleting those easy access glucose molecules pretty quickly, and then you'll start to go into that fat burning stage. So you really want to train your body as an endurance athlete to be able to burn fat much quicker at a much better rate and much more kind of efficiently. So that's the key thing to being more healthy. So when we exercise, we've got two ways looking at it. We can exercise to get fitter, which is kind of what we all want. You can also exercise to get healthier. And the reason why you get healthier with endurance sports is that you become much more fat adaptive, is the word that gets thrown around, the buzzword. But what that means is you just be able to burn fat quicker and more efficiently. And then that will make you healthier, because then you can kind of get more energy from what you have kind of stored in your body. Therefore, you start craving less things. There's just a whole lot of physiological things happen. We won't go into that too much for now, but just the important thing to know is that about 25 minutes of running, you're going to be past that kind of free kind of buffering glucose molecules in your body, and you're going to be going into that fat burning area. So we want to encourage the athlete to get about 25 minutes minimum if they can, and up to about anywhere up to like 70 minutes. So from 25 to 70 minutes, I would say somewhere in there. If you can get up to like 60 minutes twice a week on your easy runs, you're doing way better than most, and that's gonna really bring your fitness on. But for somebody who's starting out, I would get them to be able to run at least 3 times a week. Let's say a minimum of 35 to 40 minutes. If somebody can't run 3 times a week for, like, let's just say 40 minutes at an easy pace, then there's no point in them doing any sort of intensity. There's no point in giving them any intervals. There's no point in giving them any tempo runs. There's no point in doing any fartlek. There's no point in doing really anything, because this person, if you can't do 40 minutes 3 times a week at an easy pace, the physiological gains that you will get by working on building up to that is going to be way more than the physiological gains you'll get by trying to add in some sort of intensity, some sort of high intensity stuff. Don't worry about that if you can't do 3 times 40 minutes. Because believe me, I've been doing this for years. I've been running for over 20 years, and I've been coaching for quite a few years. The gains that you have there are way more than you need from doing anything else. And the risk of doing the kind of intensity stuff or the tempo stuff or even the long stuff, if you can't do it 3 times 40 minutes, they're way too high. And probably the thing that I see most is that when people start to do a long run, or they start to do these mad high intensity intervals during the week when they haven't got the capability to do the 3 times 40 minutes, it's just they get fed up and they just think it's too hard. I'm not going to do it. So really work on just trying to get those 3 times 40 minutes each week. Once you get up to that, then you start to try and build on the long run. So once you get the 3 times 40 minutes done, you can just take one of them and try and make it 50 minutes, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and then get it out and just keep progressing it. And that's what we do. That's how we get our easy runs done. So what do the easy runs do for you? Well, I told you that once you get over the 25 minutes, you're going to be still burning a little bit of glycogen, but you're also going to be burning a lot of fat now. So you're going to be much more fat adaptive. You're going to be much more efficient at burning fats. And in that type of training, we encourage our body to make more arterial and venous pathways, so much more vessels to carry blood in around the body. So that means that our blood pressure is going to come down a little bit, because now that there's more vessels, there's less pressure. So that brings our blood pressure down. Now our heart is able to pump a little bit harder, but with less intensity, a little bit more intensity, but with less rate and rhythm. So that brings your blood pressure down. It also brings your heart rate down. So this is talking about our health getting better again. So now we have a better working cardiovascular system. Our lungs will get a little bit stronger because we're going to be using them to breathe when we're running at a little bit harder rate. So you're going to be just a much more efficient human by just being able to do this, okay? So that's kind of one of the things that are two of the things that the easy running will do. It will make you healthier, it will bring your blood pressure down, and it will make you much more fat adaptive. So the question that gets thrown around in the running world a lot is, does easy running make you faster? And the straightforward answer is yes, it will. And the reason why it will is because of what I just spoke about. It will make you a much more efficient human. So if you go out and run as fast as you can for 1 kilometer, just go all out and measure that. And then don't do any other training other than run 3 times a week, 40 minutes for 4 to 6 weeks. You will come back and run that kilometer way quicker. And the reason why you'll be quicker is because you're just more efficient. Your body will be able to pump more blood. You'll have much more arterial and venous pathways to carry the blood to the muscles and carry the waste products away from the muscles. You'll be much better at circulating oxygen around your body and then taking O2 or taking carbon dioxide back to the lungs to expel it. Like I said, your heart rate won't be as high, so you'll be able to push a little bit harder, and that's why you get faster at running. So the simple answer to the question is yes, easy running will make you faster. However, there is a ceiling, and for most people, and I've come across this tons of times. I've done a lot of heart rate training before in the past. I don't tend to do a whole lot of heart rate training now, and here's the reason: I have my own business. I have a family with 3 kids, so I'm always time pressed. And although low intensity running is really effective at making you fitter, faster, and stronger, it is a very long process. So at the start, the gains will be quite big, especially if you're not a very efficient human. And then as you get more efficient, the gains kind of drop off. But the gains will keep coming, but they will be much slower. So once you can do those 3 times 40 minutes runs, like I spoke about earlier, and then once you start to bring that long run out, then you can start to add in stuff like intensity stuff. And that will make just give you more bang for your buck. It will bring your fitness on a lot more. Doing the intensity stuff wouldn't have a major health. I wouldn't have as much as a long-term health benefit as the low intensity easy stuff. So low intensity easy exercise is far better for your health than any high intensity interval training. So if you just want to be a healthier, fitter, and healthier, and just kind of live a bit longer, you're far better off just doing low intensity exercise and with a little bit of strength training as opposed to doing high intensity interval training, because the long-term benefits of high intensity interval training are just not as high as the low intensity. And again, the reason for that, you can probably guess it, is if you're doing high intensity training, you're not going to be fat burning, so you're not going to be very fat adaptive. That type of training tends to be too hard to lay down as many new blood capillary pathways that we need, that I spoke about earlier. And also it kind of promotes your heart to be pumping a lot harder throughout the exercise, as opposed to just a steady kind of I don't want to say flat line, because that's not great when you're talking about heart, but like just a steady rate when you're doing your low intensity. When you're doing high intensity, it tends to go up and down, so you don't get the cardiovascular benefits that you would with low intensity training. So low intensity easy running is probably the best training that you can do. For me, on a day like today, I was supposed to go out and do a hard interval session today, but I got caught up with doing something in work, and I didn't get to eat at the time I should have. So when I finished work, I just wasn't in the mood. I was feeling really tired. I was feeling the last thing I wanted to do was run, especially the interval session was to do 15 times 1 minute on, 1 minute off. So it's my kind of hard intensity session for the week. Just didn't want to do it. So I just got out of the car and just did an easy 10K run. And that's fantastic. That's brilliant. I'll do the intensity thing tomorrow or Friday. So you can definitely do that. There's absolutely no time. There's no point in the week where it's a bad time to do your easy kind of paced run. So, there's definitely, if you're talking about intensity training, there are certain days you don't want to do your intensity training the day after a long run or the day before a long run if you're training for a marathon or something like that. And you don't want to do your long run the day after your intensity training. So there are times in the week where one training session, it wouldn't be a good idea to do it. But that's never the case with the easy run. The easy run, you can kind of tend to do it just whenever suits, whenever it can fit in, or whenever you're just not in the mood for anything other than just going for a nice easy run. It's the perfect time to do it. Like I said, there's no bad time to do a nice easy run. It's fantastic for your health. It's fantastic for your cardiovascular system. It's fantastic for your fitness. So that's kind of the easy run laid out. I'm hoping that's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions about that, obviously drop them in the comments below, or if there's something that you would like to know a little bit more about, you can always email me. Just my email is just runsensible@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram. I post stuff up kind of daily on Instagram. My Instagram is just called Run Sensible, and I have a podcast, so I talk a lot of this stuff and I interview people, and we kind of go through different types of have conversations about running, fitness, and all things in between. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to wrap it up there for the live stream. Like I said, it's my first one. I don't even know whether I'm live. I don't even know whether anybody can see me. Like I said, I just went into StreamYard, went to live, and just hit start. I was a little bit anxious. I was thinking about it for the whole day, so I just said, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go home, set up my little studio like I have, and just hit start live stream, which is what I did. Anyway, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if it made sense, if you think it's a good idea, please let me know below. I probably will do the 4 anyway, even if I don't think it's successful. I'll probably do the 4 videos on the sorry, the 4 types of run. I'll probably do a video, a live stream on each of those. When I'm sitting here, this camera looks a little bit grainy. I'm on my MacBook, so I might plug in my Canon camera and see if that works a little bit better for next time. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Please let me know if you did, because I really feel like I'm in no man's land here. But anyway, remember, run far, run fast, most of all, run sensible, and I'll see you all in the next video.